And now it's time for another episode of Nat Drinks and Talks About Stuff. Hi everybody. I have not been drinking as much as I normally. I don't even do this that often, but I'm drinking less than I drank last time because the last time I drank way too much. But, you know, a couple of these, shot of Fireball, I'm feeling okay. Ready to discuss what we need to talk about tonight. Tonight's topic is something that I should have probably talked about a long time ago, as far as, like, interesting subjects to discuss. Our story begins 10 years ago, roughly 10 years ago, and it takes place in the Borders, so that way you know that it happened a long time ago. For those of you who don't know what a Borders is, Borders was a store that sold books. That was it. That was their thing. They sold books, and then when that wasn't going as well as it should have, they were like, well, let's try selling DVDs for like $35, and then they went out of business. So there's no Borders anymore. But I used to go to Borders all the time because it was next to Fridays, and it was a great place to not buy anything until they ran out of business. So I'm at Borders with my friend Kim, and she had just come back from New York City, and she was telling me about something new that she had heard of called Hipsters. And I think I said the word I said hipsters, and you all had something pop into your brain. An image of someone that you identify as a hipster. We can do that now. But at the time, hipster was just a word. It meant nothing. So I asked Kim, I said, what is a hipster? And she struggled to explain it as much as I would probably have trouble explaining it to someone now if they had no idea what a hipster was. She basically described it as someone who acts like they don't care about what they're wearing and just kind of just throwing it all together, but at the same time it's very meticulously put together. And I go, oh, well, that's stupid. That's never going to amount to anything. This is nothing that I need to worry about. Very much like in 1938 when Time magazine named Adolf Hitler Man of the Year. And I know you're going, Nat, isn't comparing hipsters to the rise of Adolf Hitler a little bit over the top? And it is, but we're talking about hipsters, so I feel like this is appropriate to take things a little too seriously. And the problem with the hipsters is that they do things that I like. I don't like hipsters, but I have facial hair, and I used to. I'm something of a trendsetter, and probably a lot of you already know this about me. I'm a trendsetter because many years ago, I used to wear these big, like, black rimmed glasses. Just for fun. Just because I like them. And then it was taken away from me. A group of people decided that they wanted to wear glasses too that were big and black and they didn't need. And they all decided that they should do it too. So I liked wearing the glasses, and then I had to stop because hipsters started doing it. And I like, on occasion, when the situation calls for it, I like wearing a vest. And I like Mumford & Sons. And it doesn't make me a bad person. So now there's, the hipsters are kind of breaking off into different things, and now so you have the hipsters with their handlebar mustaches and the vests. You have those hipsters and scarves. Oh dear God, with the scarves, so many scarves. You have those, And then people who I also consider hipsters, but wearing a very different motif, is the flannel. Still with the glasses, but flannel. When I was a little kid, I wore flannel. Again, trendsetter. I was a little kid wearing flannel. I loved it. And then I got older and I was like, well, I'm not a lumberjack, so it's kind of wrong for me to be wearing flannel. That's like their uniform. So I stopped, and then a bunch of other people decided to take it over. Imagine you are like a nurse. So you wear scrubs as part of your job. Now, what if a bunch of hipsters decided that they think that scrubs look cool, and they're going to wear them too, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of just people walking around in scrubs, and you're a nurse, and you're like, what the fuck? I imagine that's what it's like for lumberjacks, you know, when they come into town once in a while to trade wares or whatever, and all of a sudden they just see a bunch of fucking teenagers wearing flannel, and they're like, well, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm sure that none of these teenagers have ever cut down a tree, let alone held on to an axe in their entire lives. You know, like, what is this bullshit? Like, I'm just gonna stay in the woods forever now and live off the land because I can't believe what our society has turned into, where teenagers are wearing the thing that I wear for work because I'm a lumberjack. The point is that if people were doing that with scrubs, the outcry would be fucking insane. And I'm sure there'd be many Facebook posts about, like, how nurses are heroes, and they do shit that I couldn't do or whatever. According to my Facebook feed, the two most heroic jobs you can have is a nurse or hairdresser, because you make people feel good, which is very important. I'm talking about the hairdressers. Nurses are keeping people alive, and hairdressers make people feel good. And I assume that one is more important than the other, but according to the number of Facebook posts based on each occupation, they are equal. They are equal jobs, nurses and hairdressers. I don't quite understand that. So the thing about the flannel is that as much as I go, they shouldn't be allowed to wear that, if I see a girl wearing flannel and the glasses, and I go, yep, like there's something in here that goes, nah, that's what you want to come home to. And she's just, you come home and she's just on a couch wearing a too large flannel shirt and the glasses, and she's like, oh, Nat, like we have stuff to watch on Netflix and Hulu, and we'll sit on the couch together and watch them, and then afterwards stuff. I'll be like, great, this is a good life. Flannel and glasses, and TV, and drinks. There's all good things. But that is not to be, because that is not to be. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make in this one is that as much as I feel the need to make fun of hipsters, and I do, and I'll take it to my grave, oh man, is that I also, I don't know, not identify as a hipster is probably the wrong thing. I don't identify as a hipster. I just want to be able to wear what I want to wear. You know, I want to, and not be put in a fucking hipster box. The thing about the hipster box, if you don't know, is that the hipster box is handcrafted in a small batch. It's artisanal because it's a hipster box, and all those words matter to them. So restaurants now, I work in a restaurant, and we have what's called sizzle words. A sizzle word being like, you know, say that something is, you say that it's delicious. You say that it's cheesy. You say that it's hot, spicy, delicious, good. Sizzle words. Sizzle is in fact a sizzle word. Fajita is sizzling, great. But when you go into a restaurant now, the sizzle words that these places are using aren't those words. Those words don't matter anymore to the hipsters. The hipster sizzle words are, yeah, I wrote some of them down to make sure I remember. They are artisanal. Or artisanal if you're like extra douchebaggy. Artisanal. Handcrafted. Already, yeah. Small batch. Like, if it's basically, like, when it comes to like alcohol and hipsters, like, if it wasn't made in like a tub in Brooklyn, like, you can go fuck yourself. Like, it's the only way to have authentic alcohol is that it was made in a tub in Brooklyn, small amounts, and they just scooping it out of the tub. This is the only way. So then the other non-alcoholic like sizzle words are grass-fed, free range. These are very important. So now when you look at menus of restaurants, these are the words that they have. Are, you know, fermented. That's another thing. Fermented. Beer's always been fermented, but now we have to talk about it. So these are the words that like, I can't imagine that every restaurant owner is like a douchebag hipster. They're just the owners who've owned places for years to get told like this is the words that we have to use now, and they look at a picture of their grandfather on their desk who, you know, started this business in a fucking cart and got turned into this restaurant, and now they're told that they have to use words like artisanal, and he mourns, you know, his grandfather and everything that he built, just trying to keep a bunch of fucking know-it-all 20-something hipsters happy. Oh, it's a sad state of affairs. But yeah, this is hipsters really have taken over some shit. Hipsters have taken over a lot of stuff and organized themselves in a way that, like, you know, goths never made changes to a menu, like, ever. Goths never, like, took over an entire borough of New York City. Like, they were just too sad to do anything. And I never wanted to, like, wear, like, a bunch of makeup and have that taken away by the goth people. They were just their own thing. They did their own thing, and we just went, there, but for the grace of God go I. But hipsters, like, they go out and they do stuff, and they've made changes. The gentrification. I didn't even know that. Did any of us know what that word was, like, before hipsters showed up? I had never heard of it, and then I heard it, and I was like, what does that word mean? And then I looked it up because I was really curious, and I was like, oh, you can just say what hipsters do to a place. So I think that's it for tonight. Just me talking about hipsters. So if any of you girls wearing flannel and with the glasses want to go see a Mumford & Sons sometime, you know, let's do this thing, you know. I'm down for it. All right, so but I think that's it for tonight. So this has been another episode of Nat Drinks and Talks About Stuff. Yay!